Morning guys, welcome back to our channel, Jackson Nursery. This is your unorthodox gardener. So today we decided to cover a very important topic, which is watering. You know, it is a very vital component to any type of gardening setup, any form of agriculture. Watering, we know it's fundamental. So I'm going to be covering the top 5 watering techniques for beginners. So question 1 is which is on everyone's radar, is how often should I water? So that's a very important question, and it's all going to be depend on your location. It's going to depend on your ground. It's going to depend on whether you have any windbreaks, which I will explain later. But for now, for me personally, I water like twice a week, maybe 3 times a week at most, not every day, because I use something called mulch, as you can see down here. This is called mulch. So mulch is basically organic matter or tree bark, or it can be any shredded leaves that covers the ground. That's the key to mulch. You need to cover your ground. So when you cover your ground, you block the sun from allowing the water to evaporate, because when water evaporates, the ground dries out very quickly. So when you cover it like a blanket, it's like a sponge. So you actually catching that water now. So that water stays under that ground for a long while. So that's why I say I only water twice a week. Because if I didn't have mulch, I would have watered every day. You know? So that's a key. How often should I water? It's going to be dependent on your method of gardening. But I would highly suggest you mulch your ground. Buy your tree bark, buy your mulch at the nursery. Cover your ground. Cover ground. Don't leave your ground bare like sand. Don't allow even the sand to be exposed. Because once the sand is exposed, the sun will take that water right back immediately. Cover your ground, guys. Those who do not have mulch, who cannot afford mulch, it's going to be dependent whether you're going to grow in the ground or in pots. So your watering schedule will vary. But I would suggest get you 5-liter bottles. Each plant. So let me cover the trees first. A fruit tree takes about 10 liters for the week. So if you want to be accurate, get 5-liter bottles. It's like all over, and then you fill those 5-liter bottles at your Checkers, at wherever, and then that's like your reserve. Then you take your water bowl. This is groundwater, so this is your boil water, so it's free water. But for those that are on the municipal, I would suggest collecting your water in storage tanks, in 5-liter bottles, in your downpipes like you see there, and store the water. You can also use you can use grey water from your dishwasher. You can use when you wash up your dishes, you can use that water. But I would suggest you don't use it on things that you eat, edibles, unless you have a purification process, or you know. But for those that are in pots or in ground, it's going to be dependent on your budget also. What I do, every area has people that cut grass, you know. So what I do is I approach all these guys and I ask them for all the cut grass. I do that. And then I store it in bags at home. I use that as a mulch. Mulch is free. You don't actually have to go buy mulch. You can collect the cut grass It depends also on the size of your garden. But I highly recommend mulch. Cover your ground. Cover, cover, cover. So the next question is pertaining to overwatering and underwatering. And what are the signs thereof? So I'm going to be covering 2 signs of each. So one sign of overwatering, if you put your finger in the ground or in the soil, and the soil is wet or damp, that's a sign of overwatering. So you don't want to water after that, but I will allow it to dry out a bit. Another sign of overwatering is the leaves. So when you peel the leaves, it will be plump. It will be nice and plump. It won't be like crispy and brown. That's a sign of overwatering. So 2 signs of underwatering is when the ground is dry. You put your finger in the ground and it's dry. I'll put it about that deep, entire finger. And it's dry, it's a sign of underwatering, so you need to water now. Another sign of underwatering is when the leaves are brown, or the tips are turning brown, and it's crispy. So when you feel the leaves, it's very crispy. That's underwatering. So the third question is, does the type of plant affect the amount of water you give? I would say yes and no. Because I would say yes in the sense of not all plants can absorb the same amount of water. It also depends, because this is for beginners, I would say yes. You wouldn't want to give every plant the same liters of water, because then you might drown some of them, you know. So you just have to keep your eye on it, and then refer back to question 2, the overwatering and underwatering. Also, it depends on the crop. Is it indoor plants? Is it succulents? Is it cacti? Is it medicinal plants? It's going to be dependent on that. Is it indigenous plants? It's going to be all dependent on that. So, like for me, I just focus on indigenous plants. So indigenous plants, at the moment I'm collecting cacti and succulents. So indigenous plants, because they're indigenous to this environment, they don't need a lot of water. So it's going to be dependent on that also. Where are the plants from? Now if it's alien species, obviously they're going to take a bit more water. But I would suggest this, to refer back to question 2, keep your eye on it, feel the soil every 2-3 days, and then you will know. Otherwise, all is well. So yes guys, question 4 is pertaining to how often should I water, or when should I water. So the standard watering time is early morning and late evening or late afternoon. You want to avoid the sunlight, like the direct sunlight, like around 12 o'clock. You don't want to burn the leaves and evaporation and all that stuff. So early morning, late evening, that is your suggested watering time. So like now I'm watering. It goes much deeper than that, because pertaining to the stomata and to the transpiration, all that stuff, it's like a bit more in depth. That's for later. That's like for workshop. That's not a workshop. It's like for beginners, So early morning, late evening, for beginners. So yes, guys. The final question 5 is pertaining to drainage. How do I optimize the drainage? That is a very interesting question. So I got a few things here that I can just show you what drainage is. So drainage actually means the outlet for the water. So you can see it's a plant bag right there. So those holes there, those are drainage holes. Without drainage holes, your plants will be waterlogged and they will root rot and they will die. See, drainage there. This bottle doesn't have any drainage holes, but here is one with drainage holes underneath there. You see my earthworms is entering there, you know. So you need drainage holes so the plant doesn't drown. The roots don't drown. So yes guys, so drainage in the ground, it's going to be dependent on your soil type. So there's three basic forms of soil, types of soil. It's clay, which is found mainly in the overberg areas in the platteland. So clay absorbs a lot of water, but its drainage capacity is very weak, so you get easily waterlogged there. So yeah, like I was saying, the clay ground, there is certain plants that thrive in clay ground. Many of your indigenous herbs, like your buko, thrives in clay ground. Most of the other indigenous herbs also, they love the clay ground, especially the mountainous herbs. When you get your sandy soil, which doesn't hold much water, and its drainage is it doesn't hold much water. The drainage capacity is very quick, it drains very fast. So there's not many plants or crops that you can grow in there. But there is plants that can thrive, like your succulents, like your cacti. Those plants that are not edible, I would say, they would grow lovely in sandy soil. But when we're coming to, because we are food growers, the soil that you want is a loamy soil. So loamy soil is a mixture of the three. It has parts clay, it has parts sand, and a lot of organic matter. So I would say invest in a good compost, or make your own compost, and rehabilitate your soil. Rehabilitate your soil. I would show in a next video or a later video how to make your own compost from home. So that compost you can use to rehabilitate your soil, and eventually you want to end up with a loamy soil. With a loamy soil, it can hold water, but it can also drain water. So that's a perfect balance. The loamy soil is like a balanced soil. That's the perfect balance. That is what you want. So thank you guys who came to the end of the video. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to put it in the comments. And don't forget about a month-end prize giveaway. I would love you guys to comment on the previous video, on the prize giving video. Comment combo, as you know. Share the video with all your friends, all your family. Let them also subscribe. Let them also comment combo. Who knows? We might give away 2 combos, you know. Depends on the amount of people. So love you guys. See you on the next video.
Thank you for watching.